Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Popcorner, episode 10.
It is 10.
10. Double digits now. Double digits feels like forever how long it's taken us to get our recording setup back up to where we want it to be because we got a new camera. I know you can't tell because the resolution and nothing's changed. It's going to be the same as it has been because you know what? We were defeated.
Yeah,
We had like 6 technical issues in a row.
we just gave up and just went with it with the old
Old setup.
1080.
We had a light go out. We've got new lights coming in, but that doesn't matter.
I was supposed to buy lights, like straight up like big LED lights to go on both sides of us to light us specifically up to where we wouldn't have to use the lights around.
You dropped the ball.
I forgot to buy them. And then the light we usually use on the left is out.
Yeah,
and then the computer difficulties, we're just having a fun time.
We're doing good. So with that being said, you've seen the title. You see the background picture that I've probably made because I don't like making a 1080p image be so big and blurry on the screen. I know what you did last summer, and I'm not talking about you.
What did I do?
Oh, you probably played some video games and launched some fireworks and worked.
It's probably what you did. You came to the same firework party I had and then worked and played some video games.
That's accurate. That's accurate.
It's about what we did.
Had a kid.
Yeah, I'm going to say I had a kid, but...
That wasn't in the summer, though. When I met you in the summer.
All right, that's it. Cut the cast. I'm out.
Yeah, we're done. Okay, so episode 10.
Yep.
Well, what's new? Anything? You got anything crazy going on in your life? Anything?
No, sir.
Nothing at all.
Nope. I am a very uneventful man. What about yourself? All right. You preparing for this summer?
Yeah,
Because we're talking about what we did last summer today, but I mean,
I mean,
got anything coming up
What
this
am I
summer?
going to do this summer? I got some big plans.
Do you?
I do.
Do you? Okay.
I wanna build a YouTube channel right here. Right, that's something. I wanna daughter
That already happened.
hang out
so
with her.
like,
No, not build another one.
I was going to say, oh no.
Just kind of hang out with the one I got.
Okay,
you know
gotcha,
what I mean?
gotcha.
I don't really want another one. I'm going pro-choice as soon as another one comes around. Pro-choice to push somebody down the stairs.
Push me down the stairs.
You're right. I'm sorry, no. I mean, nothing crazy. I got a pond that, I finally got a new pump in. Did I tell you that, by the way?
Mm-mm.
So I have a koi pond. To anyone that's curious, ask me about it in a couple months. Maybe I'll show it to you. And it's really cool. But obviously, wintertime, things freeze over. So I had to keep water moving in it. So I had the pump running all around. I put some water heaters in the water to keep it so it didn't freeze completely.
Yeah.
And so that was nice. But unfortunately, my water pump died. So I couldn't filter out any water.
Rip the fish.
And so my main concern was that, with no moving water and not like a lot of plant life in there, I mean, I was like, oh shit, my fish are just going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thankfully, I don't think that happened because none of them were floating. But so hopefully this summer, the winter is always like a big hit to like the cleanliness of the pond because I'm not like, I unhook my hose. I have to clean the filters out all the time. So if I'm not hosing the filters, then I can't clean the pond, and then the pond gets dirty again because fish are fucking disgusting.
Oh, that's fair.
But they're cool to look at.
Yeah, fish are dope. I got some, but they're just like little goldfish.
I mean, if you put the goldfish in there, they could grow to be big fish.
If your fish don't eat them.
They probably would. They're menaces.
The only thing I'm doing this summer is getting jacked.
I don't even have arms.
That's not going to happen, but
It could.
at least get a little bit of shape going.
You know what I think, Draven? My friend.
What's that, sir?
I think this summer we should make it a point to at least every once in a while do some kind of live stream content.
All right.
And very rarely, whether we're just hanging out here, I don't know, setting up like a Smash tournament or something.
Yeah, play some games.
Yeah,
just mess around.
Like some couch co-op stuff. We don't necessarily have to play online or whatever. I mean, we would stream.
Gang Beast.
Gang Beast.
I mean, I'd be down.
G-A-N-G-B-E-S-T-S. Gang Beast. Is that what you mean? But anyway, I feel like we might have rambled enough about my fish.
That's fair.
But no, really, I do, to circle back one more time before I hit myself in the head, I think that would be something cool to do. Like, if, especially if an audience here grows enough to where the two of us is like a thing,
Yeah.
an item.
Well, wait, we're getting shippers already? Let's go.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, we're shipped now.
What would our ship name be? Coleman and Draven.
Yeah, for real, if you guys could, like...
Caveman?
What?
Craven?
Crave Man?
Craven?
Crave Man?
Craven the Hunter? That's a Marvel reference.
Druman?
Druman?
Colvin?
Colvin? That makes me uncomfortable.
I mean, hey, it's the audience that gets to decide that. We're just the ones that go with it.
Like, comment, and subscribe to
Come up with a ship
come
name
up
for
with a
us.
ship name.
I'm curious.
Comment the ship name, but I'll only accept it if you're subscribed to the channel and you like the video.
I'll accept it either way. I love you all. Yeah, I just stepped you up on your own channel, brother.
I'll delete my channel right now. Then what will you do?
I still have mine with my 13 subs.
There you go. But anyway,
I know what you did last summer.
I know what you did last summer.
We watched that, right?
We did watch that movie. I think the reason we're like struggling to want to talk.
So with more technical difficulties,
Yeah.
we are back.
Yeah, we are most definitely back once again.
It crashed, so here we are. I think now that we've crashed, I think it was a sign for us to start talking about the movie.
Yes, which once again, as I was about to say before we had our untimely difficulties, I think the reason we're like putting off talking about this movie is because it's been so long since we've seen this movie.
Yeah,
now.
like I don't even remember what the movie was even about. All I have on my brain is computer problems, camera problems, and lighting problems.
We'll have to. Those are the names of the characters. Actually, is Brio, the camera. We've got HP. We've got
Asus.
Asus. Yeah, Asus. I think it's Asus is technically, I think, it's how it's pronounced.
I didn't ask.
Okay. All right. Wonderful.
Okay. So
Glad we're here.
I know what you did
we're
last
here.
summer. Okay, going into this movie, you didn't know anything about this movie?
I didn't, and honestly, that's a film. This is one of the most movies in the ever.
I don't know what that means, but he never seen it, never saw anything about it. I never watched this movie myself, even as a horror fan, so it's weird because it's actually kind of critically praised. When it first came out, it was not.
I can understand why.
But now it's kind of like it's seen as a small little masterpiece in the horror.
Is it more like a cult classic type of? I don't want to say
probably.
Cult classic.
Me
That's
personally,
reserved for good movies.
I've never seen this movie, but the only thing I knew about it is Helena. What's her name? Buffy the Vampire Slayer, isn't it?
I thought you were talking about the actress. I was like, I don't think there's anyone.
Helena.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, that sounds right. And you're saying that, and that's making me think you're correct.
Just trying. And I think that's what it is. I'm just trying to see which way it's pronounced.
It's Helen. It's just Helen.
Oh, it's just Helen.
I was like, Helen. It sounds like too much. But
Okay, my bad. Well, Helen. Sorry, but Helen, Buffy the Vampire Slayer over here. I knew that she died because that's what.
I'm losing it. I can't with this episode anymore. I'm sorry. This is what you're gonna get. This is what it is. But Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I knew that she died because that is the only thing I knew about this movie. Because everyone always talks about how she should have been the final girl. Because honestly, watching the movie, I kind of agree because she's basically the main girl. Let's be real here.
Oh, what is this?
We got another pop up.
What is this?
Who cares? I'm getting out of it.
Don't even just.
My cursor's not working. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
So that's the only thing I knew about the movie is that she passed, and I agree with. She passed. She died. She passed.
Yeah, she passed by a murderer on the street.
Oh my god. Anyways, that's the only thing I knew about the movie. So fun and dandy. I didn't know anything else. So going into this, I was completely blind. And us both going into it, we thought the killer was going to be the one rich guy, Troy.
Ray.
Listen. Computer stuff. Yeah, Ray. We thought Ray was the killer.
Well, here's the thing. The screenplay for this movie was written by
Kevin.
Kevin Williamson,
Who did Scream?
who did Scream. Scream 2 actually came out the same year as this movie, and Scream the previous year before that. Which screenwriters, they work a little bit faster than the movies that turn around. I'm sure, whatever. So you can pop a few out, whatever.
Yeah, he was on the grind though.
Gotta say, it's got some Scream 3 energy to this. Not that good.
Really? I'm curious.
What does it say when, spoilers, the best scene of the movie, in my humble opinion,
Is it going to be that?
is when the main character picks up a flare gun, and because the killer, the fisherman, pushes the boat into top gear, she brushes against the side of the boat, and it knocks the flare gun out of her hand, and the camera cuts back to the fisherman in the captain's seat spot, and he just smiles. He goes,
Such a goofy smile too.
and it is so goofy. Everything about that's goofy, and that's the best part of this movie. Now there's, there are performances in this movie.
I cannot get over the final girl. I don't even remember her name is anymore, but I cannot get over her scream.
I honestly think as soon as they enter like the marina, the docks, and then onto the boat at the end, I genuinely think there's like, hey, we don't have any dialogue for this part, so whenever somebody comes near you, just start screaming. And then Jennifer Love Hewitt, she did, like, if that was the assignment, she understood it. She understood the assignment. So continue on, my friend. This was your pick, so I'm going to let you lead this.
Okay, first of all, I never watched it, so I gave him two choices. I gave him this movie and then A Happy Death Day. Happy Death Day is a fantastic movie. He's never watched it, though, so that's why I brought it to the table. But since we both never seen this movie, we're like, you know what? We'll go with this. I don't think it's that bad, honestly, as bad as he seems to be saying, but, I mean, we'll...
It was entertaining throughout.
Listen, I was just here for the Helen performance, let's be real. She's a legend. But, the whole cast I didn't really know other than her, though, let's be real.
Well, there's, like I said, Jennifer Love Hewitt. I knew her from Ghost Whisperer. Phenomenal show, by the way.
Okay.
But so there's that, and then she is in it. Her boyfriend is Freddie Prinze Jr. Literally, Fred,
Yep.
from, which interestingly enough, just a year before this,
Yeah, wrote
Kevin
Scream,
Willi-
and then
Kevin
on Shaggy.
Williamson, yeah, he got Shaggy, and then Fred just a few years before, because that was early 2000s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's one thing to note too, is that like there was a lot of Scream references I kind of caught in this movie. Not like blatant, like here's Ghostface mask or something like that. But heck, literally just hearing the word Billy literally in the movie.
Yeah, it really makes you. But one thing I will say is that I'm pretty sure this is based off of a book I saw.
Okay.
So
Okay.
maybe just maybe there wasn't so much like with the names. Maybe with side characters, you might be right there.
I just remember like the boat and stuff, and like calling like that's what the guy came up with his fake name, or whatever he called like himself Billy or something.
Yeah.
Like there was another one that I remember catching. I don't remember what it was, but there was a few nods that I'm like, is that supposed to be a Scream poke? Could be.
I mean,
could be a coincidence too.
If nothing else, it's a happy accident.
Yeah,
So.
I'm gonna say either way. There was a few things in there that I'm like, that's funny, it's just like Scream.
But
Well, here's the thing. I know we're just talking about the first one here, but I never watched any of the movies, and we found out there's 3 of them.
we're and a TV series.
We're just talking about the movie. We're mostly just talking about the first movie here.
Yeah.
But I was looking up just some information before we came to do this, and I found out, like, I was just trying to get more information on the killer, which is named like Ben or something.
Yeah, Willis.
Yeah, Ben Willis. And I was doing just a little backdrop of him, and then it literally spoiled it for me right then and there, which I guess doesn't really matter.
He's the killer in all 3.
He's the killer in all 3 of the movies. That's kind of lame, not gonna lie. Him being it in the first one was whatever, but seeing him come back again, which I guess they kind of nod at it coming back because he just gets his hand cut off at the end.
I'm gonna push back.
Okay.
Here, I'm gonna push back. I'm gonna say that you're I don't want to say you're hypocritical, but I'm going to push back on you here.
Let's hear it.
All right?
Let's hear it, gamer.
I think you're still in the Scream mind space.
True.
Where it needs to be different killers.
Different killers,
Who
yeah.
are the killers? Because that's how we treated this movie. Like, oh, you know,
Yeah.
who of the main cast is going to be the killer?
we were literally treating it like it was Scream and going.
Which
I guess that might be where some of my disappointment comes from because I'm over here watching it as a Scream film, but obviously it's not, which is bad on my part, not the movie. But at the same time, I don't know. The killer just wasn't interesting enough to bring back for 2 more movies, in my opinion.
No, I mean, especially considering the fact that we never even really...
Seen them?
Yeah. Yeah, it really is like a Scream movie, actually, now that you mention it.
How dare you?
Sorry, my bad.
But yeah, they're going to say you never see the character at all until the end. Well, technically you see him when he's killing people. You see him wearing the fisherman outfit. Okay, I will give it to him, though. Hook is a cool kill weapon. So, that was different. Unless you're Candyman, I guess. Candyman use Hook?
I think so. Well, I saw the remake. But anyway, you know, a killer didn't do it for me. But anyway, as I said, I really think that with the idea of like a returning, like, I don't want to say legendary character because he's not, but, you know, infamous character returning, Michael Myers.
Yeah, but like he's cool.
You don't think you said the fishhook was cool?
The fishhook weapon is cool. That's like saying, "Oh, Michael's cool because his kitchen knife's pretty cool." I love that kitchen knife.
I mean, he is known for it.
Yeah, he's known for using it. He's not known for the knife itself.
Oh my God! Look at that knife. That must be Michael.
So looking at a buck 120 and being like, Ghostface is known for the knife, not the Ghostface outfit or mask. The knife, you know.
Yeah. You're right. I understand what you're saying.
Like
the weapon doesn't make the killer. The killer makes the weapon. Yada yada yada.
But yeah, but like if you say a hook too, if we're talking hooks, Candyman right there.
Candyman.
So like you see a hook, Candyman.
Yeah.
How many times did I say Candyman?
Don't look in a mirror anytime soon. But okay, so we kind of already talked about the cast a little bit, you know, in the sense that you only really knew, was it Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Yeah.
And then there's Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr. You know, I don't think that this movie was directed or acted particularly well.
They had some phrases in there that were kind of wild.
Well, I think both in the sense of direction. I like, you know, once again, hard for me to say if it's, you know, an actor who is just flopping a role or if it's a director saying, hey, that's a good enough take. Because it could be either.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, as we said, the screaming at the end of the movie.
That was the one
from
that stuck
Julie.
out. Yeah,
that wasn't good. What is the name of the sister that they go and visit? The short-haired blonde.
I don't think... Did she ever actually say her name?
She did. I don't remember. It might be Sarah.
We'll just call her...
Not Sarah.
We'll just call her Freaky Lady.
Yeah, freaky lady in the house that keeps having strangers over. Gotta say...
That's sisters to the original guy who died.
Yes. Scary enough character. In the sense that she kept being weird as shit.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I think it worked in that performance, and that's what I wanted to bring up. Was like that was one of those like, you know, it was kind of like off-putting to watch in the sense like, oh, this is just bad, but then it's like, oh wait, no, this is working. This is actually kind of creepy. So that was great and all, but then it's like, it's not like she's the killer. You know what I mean? It's like she's not the one killing it.
It would have been cool if she was.
I know.
I don't know. I just figured again, I'm just thinking of it as a Scream movie for some reason. But like, I don't know. It's one of those things to not show who the killer is. If you're going to do a thing where it's just a normal dude, it's kind of weird to like not have them in the movie at all. The only thing that it relates to is, oh, I'm Susie's father, which is the original guy that our group here hits with the car.
Yes.
Like, this guy's dead, and this is Dave, I think is what the original dude's name was that they hit. I think Dave was his name. It was Dave and Susie, right?
I don't know. Well, Susie's right.
I think the guy is Dave.
I think it's Dave because it's like.
Yeah, I think so. And Susie dies, and then the killer is the father of Susie because the Dave and Susie are in a car crash. Susie dies, but Dave comes out unharmed. Right. So this man kills this dude and then goes on basically a rampage to kill our group here.
Right.
Which I thought the letters were cool. Giving everyone one and being like, I know you did last summer. Like,
I mean, it's a
there's
cool
a title.
It's a cool tie into the title. What did you think of the idea that the first person to get a letter was actually Dave initially, because he survived the car accident with the killer's daughter?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I still remember last summer, and then of course that, skip forward another summer, and we've got 4 more notes to our main cast.
Yeah.
I dig it. I mean, it's cool. I like how they played on the note at the end of the movie.
Oh yeah, where they think the killer is gone, dead, whatever, and then she's in the shower.
The borderline post-credit scene.
Yeah, she goes out and sees a letter, and then she opens it, and you're thinking it's going to be another one, but then it's just like a pool party.
Right. Yeah.
But she goes back into the shower room, and it's all foggy, and then it says on the
which it implies that she gets attacked at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But what I'm confused about is there's a sequel.
Yeah. And I think...
And she and Freddie Prinze Jr. are in it.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, then that's weird. Unless it just, starts off right there in that scene.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw that the movie has, a 7% for audience score.
Ooh.
It's like a 40... It's still in the 40s for, reviews.
Interesting. So, watching it next?
Oh, no. This is it. I didn't even like the first one.
Oh, God.
I didn't mind it, but I didn't like it.
Yo, shout out to, the nerdy girl with the glasses. Shout out to her for taking 20 minutes to open the door.
Yeah, that's like you getting to my house. You could be like, yeah, I'm going to head out here in 4 seconds.
It's true.
And then he'll come to my house an hour later, and he'll be like, sorry, I fell asleep in 3 seconds after I sent that text.
I told him today, though, I got here late today, too, but I was watching Days of Our Lives.
Were you actually watching Days of Our Lives? You weren't, were you?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would like to know, because if that's serious, I'd beat the shit out of you.
Me and my grandma were busting out the pops.
No way.
Sitting in the lounge chair and watching some Days of Our Lives.
This is now a dedicated Days of Our Lives podcast.
I'm just kidding. We didn't watch that. Although we did search up how long it would take you to watch Days of Our Lives from beginning to end. It'll take you from watching 24/7, no breaks whatsoever, 650 days. Straight. So quit your jobs, don't go to sleep anymore, screw food and drinks, watch Days of Our Lives.
You could probably lobby some weird ass sleep trial company to pay you to just watch Days of Our Lives and see what the social impact is of not doing anything but watching Days of Our Lives.
Would you do it? If they offered you a lot of money, would you do it?
Do I get to see my family?
No, we gotta watch Days of Our Lives.
Then yes. Then yes. Okay, that's fine.
I was gonna say, you can't do anything except watch Days of Our Lives.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because if you do anything else, it's gonna take you way more time.
Yeah, I don't.
It's already 2 years.
I just need Days of Our Lives. I don't need anything else. You know what I mean?
Works for me. Become a millionaire, just watch Days of Our Lives all day.
Well, who said they were paying us millions? I mean,
I meant good money.
I'm really in then. I was thinking maybe $10 an hour.
$10 an hour for
That's fine
600 days, you're gonna be cracked.
I mean, yeah, I guess. But
what did we watch?
We watched I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, this is the best podcast.
I know what we watched this evening.
Oh Christ. Okay, so this movie, like I said, the nerdy girl taking forever to open the door. Classic. She just did not care, dude. She's like,
I liked Max, the Johnny Galecki's character.
The guy that dies within 2 seconds.
Yeah, no. Well, kind of earlier on.
He's the first one out of the main group.
Yes.
Well, main group.
Why did he die?
Mm-hmm.
Did we ever?
Not really.
We didn't really establish.
He wasn't even part of the people. He didn't even know that they ran him over or whatever. Because he just pulled in later and he just what's going on? And then they were basically.
The funniest thing ever. First off, if you've only ever seen him from The Big Bang Theory, this is really a funny movie. Because he'll drop an F-bomb. He's probably one of the more serious acting characters. He opens up the movie super antisocial, nerdy, trying to hit on Julie's character. And then, of course, he gets told off by one of the friends. And then after that, he is Rizmaster 64. And I don't even know, man. It's just
I mean, he died in a cool place. That ice, though.
That was really cool.
The room with all the giant ice blocks looked really cool. And then, like, the ice hook, the hook was on the ice
A
top.
lot of ice in this movie. I had no idea fishing required so much ice.
Well, I mean, you didn't really? I feel like that's kind of like basic knowledge.
I mean, I know that, like, when you're storing meats and things that you should have, like, ice and salt or whatever, but, like, I mean, I never would have thought to have that much ice on a boat.
I mean, they made kind of cool set pieces, though. I mean, just her going through the boat with, like, a bunch of ice everywhere and her trying to climb up it. How funny is that? She's, like, trying to climb up it and everything, and the way they set it up, that, why can I not think of his name? The other guy that, like, was at the end trying to help.
Ray?
Yes. I wanted to say Troy again. Ray. It was funny because, like...
Who the fuck's Troy?
No, Troy Baker.
Troy Baker. Don't, if you want to, don't hate, create. Troy Baker.
I'm gonna pretend,
he got into NFTs.
Yes, I know. But, he's,
But everybody loves him.
he was standing at the one side of the boat, and then our killer was looking at him on this side of the boat. And then this is when our main character girl here is like trying to get through the ice, and she thinks she's hidden. And then you think the guy up there, the killer, is gonna go after Ray, and then he just looks down and just opens up the thing, and then he does the scream. What a good movie! I mean,
okay. So I know we've been kind of scatterbrained all over the place, and we've been saying our thoughts true, sure, and I hope you've taken something from this audience. But my point for the rest of this podcast, for the remainder of our time,
okay,
is to prove to you that this is a bad movie. Okay?
I'll try to fight some stuff saying as to why I like it a little bit, because I don't fully hate this movie.
I don't understand any.
At least I wasn't bored like when we watched the movie Nope. I was bored out of my mind, and I never want to watch that again.
I will say that I agree with you. Once again, my threshold for entertainment may be low. So I was entertained throughout this movie in the sense that I was watching it and I was like, okay, cool. The plot is continuing. I don't know what's going on. I like that. Same thing with Nope. Same thing with any other movie we've watched. However,
okay,
this is like the first movie that we've watched where I feel like we've seen outwardly dumb decisions.
Oh yeah, it's definitely one of the more horror movies that follows that cliche, like everyone's retarded.
This feels like one of the movies that Scream is making fun of.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's not
like
making
Scream,
fun of another movie.
Scream is like making fun and playing on the tropes of horror movies. This horror movie is one of those movies that are being played on in Scream.
Like you could say this was Stab.
Yeah, 100%.
Like this is a Stab movie.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just as cheesy too. Like, just the way things are said and, like,
borderline
super over-dramatic and, like...
The opening scene on the beach where they're sitting around the campfire. And then at the end of, like, once again, I think they ran out of dialogue. They just zoomed in on all of them smiling at each other. I don't know why they did that. Do you know why they did that? Who directed this movie?
I don't know. Let's see.
Jim Gillespie? Why did you do that?
I don't think he's going to watch this. What else did he direct? Did he direct anything else, like, super big?
Do you... Venom from 2005. Is that a movie?
Probably.
They're going to taste my venom. I don't think this is the right kind of venom.
Anyway, I mean, I don't really know much about the director, so
yeah.
I mean, as far as like directing decisions, I wouldn't really know what other movies to base them off and around. But you know, Kevin, he's a really good writer. I'm gonna say with the Scream movies, I mean, he's pretty tight at what he does. So it's interesting to know how much of a hand he had in this movie.
Yeah,
I would say the concept was pretty neat. I mean, I thought it was all right. Like I said, I don't think it's as bad as you. So I'm curious. Since last time I had all the negatives with Nope, and you have all the negatives this time, let's hear some of your negatives.
You want to hear some negatives?
Yeah, let's hear it. I'll try to either comment and agree or comment and fight.
So I think direction is hit or miss. I think you get scenes like the campfire that I just mentioned, but then you also get the kind of borderline creepy scenes like the sister. You know, when they're at her house and like she's like realizing that they aren't just broken down alongside the road or something. Like, that was kind of like a cool scene. Or even
I love that scene where she like comes back to the car. She's like, "Your car started, huh? That's kind of weird."
car started right up, huh?
She's like holding the knife or whatever or something. Just like,
What we got going on there?
what? Oh, it's just that, yeah. It's just the table.
Gotcha.
The table just makes it like slightly move.
Gotcha. But yeah, so that character is interesting. And then you've got the scene later on with the killer or the fisherman, underneath the mannequin cover. I thought that was a good one.
When Helen's like trying to walk down, and then he just like whoosh.
Right, and then you get those really cool ones. You get the bad ones, like the fire scene, or just like, I don't know. It goes hand in hand with the acting, in my opinion, because I don't think the acting can be bad if the directing isn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the performance is just flat. Like, I think Freddie Prinze Jr., he just comes off as too dumb. And not like in a funny, charming way.
Mm-hmm.
There's a character that already did this that same year. His name is Deputy Dewey.
No one's beating Deputy Dewey.
No one.
That's the thing, though. I feel like I said, I know you said this was like based
Except
on
Amber. Amber beat Dewey.
I know you said, get out, leave the podcast immediately, you piece of garbage. I know it's one of the things because you said that like this is based on a book, right? So
I think so. I mean, from what I understand, I'm not familiar with it, but
it's kind of weird. But the way the movie was kind of made, it kind of tried to play on the Scream comedy and Scream tropes, but it definitely fell flat when trying to do anything that Scream tried. And I could just be.
Do you think there was a clear like try for comedy in this movie?
A try? Like, you mean like that wasn't just by accident?
Yeah. Because I genuinely believe that everything that was funny in this movie was unintentional. Really?
I feel like there had to be something.
I mean, there was a funny line or like a quick shutdown of a character that's like, oh, haha, that's comical. Sure, yeah. But like, I think there's a difference between like that scene where the killer smiles at the end.
That had to be intentional.
It's so weird that it had to be, but at the same time, it's like that doesn't play on any type of comedy that you would.
Yeah,
I don't know. You know what I mean at all? What I'm saying?
I feel like it goes both ways because some people might find that scene creepy, and some people, I mean, like us,
creepy.
We thought it was hilarious.
If you find that scene creepy, you may be entitled to cash compensation for being a fucking pussy.
Like I said, and also with tension, the only tense scenes really in this movie was with the weird girl, the freaky girl with this, that section.
Yes.
And then I thought there was a little tense there with like Helen fighting and her chase scene for a little bit. I thought that was a little tense.
But then,
other than those scenes, though,
once again, dumb decisions of character. Why? And I know why was she in the middle of the alley? And she was there. She made it.
Yeah, she stopped and turned around.
But she stopped and turned around, and it literally felt like, okay, we just have to find a way to kill her.
Yeah.
And, like, we just got to make this happen. Like, there was no, like...
Well, real talk, she probably would have died anyways if she kept going because the killer came from the front of her anyway.
Right, so, but she would have been in the crowd if she would have just made it there a little bit sooner.
There was still a little bit of distance, though, so maybe he was hiding behind one of the tires.
I know. I know.
Because that's what we thought was going to happen anyway. I feel like they pulled that just so it wasn't a cliche, like, oh, hiding behind a tire. That's probably what it was. But, I mean, her dying is criminal, by the way. The only character I cared about cries. Just because of the actor. She's a legend.
That's fair.
But as far as like, yeah, what about like the trunk, the crabs, snippy snip, dead body in there.
He just like me.
And then they go and tell the one guy, and they all like collectively come back to the trunk and open it, and there's nothing in there. And the dude's like, "What, did the crabs take them?"
See, again, there's like the little quips like that, but half of those even feel like, I don't know, I feel like you could say that those are I could just as easily see the actor improvising.
Yeah,
his
not
lines.
like being scripted.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like, but there's never anything like. There's never a scene that's just full on dedicated to like a lighthearted comedy moment.
Also, why did the guy not kill him in the car? Why did the killer not kill Cox? Is his last name? I don't remember his first name.
Barry.
Barry, yeah.
Barry.
Why did they not kill Barry with the car, though? Even though they killed him anyway.
Maybe because it wasn't 4th of July yet.
Dude, he killed the one kid, though.
He wasn't part of the thing, though. I don't know.
Then why did they kill him anyway?
Why did Max die?
I was going to say, Max died before the 4th, and then...
Jim? Gillespie? Jim? James?
What, for the actor?
Jim,
Oh, Jim, yeah.
Jim Gillespie. Director. Hello, Jim. Why?
It is curious, though.
Why did Max die? You know what? Johnny Galecki. Why? Why did you allow them to murder my favorite character from I Know What You Did Last Summer, 1997? Max. Such a brutal and gruesome way, just for the defilement of the ocean life that he was cooking.
I think it's
that
just
scene.
because the fisherman wanted to get a weapon, so he saw that and he said, that's pretty neat. And then
He literally did.
he just happened to have that man there, and he's like, let's test it out.
Felt like a combat tutorial for a game. Like, I just got a new weapon.
He's like,
And
all
it
right, let's
has
try
to
it.
pop up on the screen. It's like, hit this button to do this thing. And then he's like, well, I can't skip this. And then he had to do it
Yeah.
on somebody. He was just...
Because like we were saying, it makes no sense to really kill him because he wasn't really part of the group.
He wasn't.
He just kind of showed up later, and like I said, he didn't hit the body, and he also didn't even realize that that's what even happened because he kind of was like, what's going on? And they were like, oh, nothing. He just, drunk driving. And then he's like, okay, and he left.
Well,
So he didn't even know that even happened.
even that,
What?
I don't know. The plot of this movie confuses me. I'm not going to lie to you because I thought I had it down pat. But when we came down here, I was like, okay, I know. So the guy that died was the guy that was dating the killer's daughter.
Yeah. Susie. Yeah.
Once again, why is the fisherman even caring that they killed him then? Because he wanted to anyway, right?
Now, for my understanding is for some reason, I think they hit him with the car originally. Like
That's right, because he drowned anyway.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So the person they hit was the fisherman.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
They just did when they went and looked at the body. It wasn't him. It was the
Yeah, that's right. The body they
Dave.
found
Was Dave. Yeah. But they hit the fisherman with the car, and then they kind of like left him, right?
Well, no.
Or was the fisherman the one that they?
You've rejogged my memory. They did everything with the fisherman, but they had already mentioned that they did find Dave's body
In the
It-
water.
It was just completely, coincidence that the person they hit and put into the water wasn't the one. Like,
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So then everything they
so
did.
his
see-
vendetta is like, hey, you guys hit me. That's right. I'm.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. Like I knew they hit him because that would be the only reason he would want to go after them.
Yeah,
But-
my memory has been rejogged. He healed pretty well after a year. Dude got hit and rolled.
Yeah, his
with a
face was
car.
wrecked.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's why, because they threw him in, and then obviously, which means I was right then, because in the beginning I was like, this guy who's in here who obviously opened his eyes, I'm like, he's going to be the killer. I was right. Let's fucking go.
I mean,
It's weird because now that we like talked about that before, we just talked about that, I was for some reason thinking Dave was the one they hit and threw in the water. Not the killer. I don't know
that's
why.
what we were assumed to believe. Because once it does the time skip forward, that's what she's like, oh yeah, his name was Dave Eager or whatever, or Egan, yeah, and all this and that, and fun stuff. But I can't, man. Once again, I think the directing, the acting, I think the decisions made, which whatever, if it's following source material, change it, change the source material. Because it wasn't good then either. There's just not that much that's great about this movie, in my opinion. I think the best thing about this movie is that for a first time watch, as I always say,
Okay.
I'm entertained. throughout the whole time because I don't know what's going to happen. Wasn't an edge of your seat movie. It wasn't super not spooky, but it wasn't super thrilling. There was a few scenes, like I mentioned, that I did really enjoy, but I don't know, man. I just think the coolest parts of this movie are the ice and like the
Ice was cool.
the emphasis on like all this fisherman stuff. I think they should have leaned heavier into it, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, it's something different you don't really hear or see a lot of
Yeah.
in movies, especially horror movies, like the fisherman kind of stuff or anything with like sea-related boat
Yeah.
stuff. You don't really see that a lot.
Hell, I would have loved for half the movie them to have been maybe stuck out in the sea at one spot. Just
on a
for
big
fun.
boat or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like, maybe at one point in the night another boat comes up or something and like
I mean,
it's
another little
creepy.
nod that like I thought of when we were watching it to Scream was because this is the time, 1997, I think, same time Scream 2 was coming out, and Kevin obviously wrote on that. But like this might just be another coincidence, but college campus. But like it's weird because like the college campus has no personal like effect on the movie. It's just kind of like there for 2 seconds.
Yeah, no role. Another thing, one of the protagonists riding in the back of a cop car, not going too well with Helen.
Yeah, Helen being in the back. Yeah,
Helen being in the back of the cop car, it doesn't go too well for him or her, quite frankly, but prolonged, of course. And man, I
think the weirdest thing to me was when because obviously this happened and then it cuts to a year later, and it's weird to me how like all of them just happened to like get together again. Like they were all like, oh, Helen went away to New York, and then it's like, oh, she was, but then she came back, so she's working at that place again, so they meet up, and then they go meet the one guy who's just being like a D-bag on like college campus or something. They see him.
He was the
quarterback.
Yeah, he was the quarterback, so he was, to the college, but then he was also staying as close to home as possible because he's like the rich kid. So he's
but it's weird because like all three of them happen to be there, and then they're like, oh yeah, freaking Roy or Ray over here. He's just
they're
like
so surprised about him.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, he left, whatever, and then they just walk into him like,
yeah,
what? So I don't know. I just felt like that was a little weird and rushed, and like they didn't really have a good plan or idea for the script to like bring them all back together. I think that could have been done a lot better, but
that you bring up a great point. You said rushed.
Yeah.
This movie is an hour and 40 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the pacing of the movie? Overall, the pacing, the timing of events, maybe even the order structurally of this film. How do you feel about that?
It's weird because like 1 minute it's kind of slow, then the next minute it's so fast that like so many things happen.
Yep.
And then it's just randomly to the end. I feel like the beginning when it all happens, it's like okay, and then after like it cuts to the year and it's like trying to get them all back together. That part is super slow in my opinion. But also like once the killing starts happening, it's just really out of place. It's really weird. It's really jumpy all over the place.
Yeah.
Because usually when you watch a horror movie and you're following a character, like they either die or like they go through something really crazy and
then it cuts away from them.
Yeah. But this one, like it follows a person and then like nothing happens. It'll go and follow another person, nothing happens. And then it'll go to someone like, the guy who got hit by the car and didn't die, and then it just cuts away and he's in the hospital now.
Yeah.
Like the cuts were very curious. So that kind of messed up with the pacing in my opinion.
So I agree with that. I think there were some weird story cuts, weird selections as far as like what scenes we followed after what moments.
Mm-hmm.
The most jarring to me personally was the initial scene where Max is killed.
Yeah.
Like that whole scene is immediately followed up by Barry working out, having the shower scene, and then going and getting attacked by the killer again.
Did he get attacked?
With the car.
Oh, that's when Barry got attacked with the car. Yeah.
Because then he realizes that his keys are missing. He runs outside.
Yeah, because he follows the car. He chases
yes.
it all the way down, and then he turns it on.
Yes.
The lights. Turns the lights on him, and then going forward.
And so then I'm like, those two scenes happen back to back. at the rate we're going, this movie's only going to be 20 minutes longer.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's still another hour or so at that point.
Well, that's where they get you because they don't kill him.
Yeah, no, they don't. And then they switch to another thing, and then,
Which is weird he didn't die because he was like one of the most irrelevant characters anyway.
yeah.
Because like
It really wasn't very important.
he was just there and then he ends up going to the pageant thing for Helen.
Yeah, and then does eventually.
Just dies up on the balcony. That's it.
Yeah, and we don't.
We don't even see how he dies. I mean, obviously the hook, but like you don't see him die.
Yeah, and you don't even honestly get a confirmed kill until the end of the movie in the ice.
In the ice, yeah.
So.
Kind of the same with Helen, though. You don't really see because she's fighting back in the tires. I mean, obviously it's assumed that she's dead.
Well, with that one, you at least get to get the whole she's screaming and then she's not.
Yeah, but like she was actually like fighting back a little bit, and then it just cuts, and then never again until the ice. It's kind of weird that they kind of did that with a lot of the kills. They just didn't show it until the ice. And they're like, oh, they're stashed in here.
Could have went.
Okay. You could have still shown the kills, but then just had a little extra spice of them being in there.
Could have leaned further into the I don't want to say gore, but I mean, yeah, like honestly, the visceral nature of a slasher film, because it's a slasher.
Yeah,
this is a slasher movie. It 100% is. I think the motivations and I think the story premise of this movie are really good. I think it's such a cool premise. Not only someone blackmailing people for assumingly murdering someone.
Yeah.
But
because they left him for dead. So,
right.
I mean, it's cool. Yeah, the concept's really neat. And I mean, the setting of fisherman area and just... Yeah, that was really interesting and something different. So I think it was super unique in that way. And that's where some of the positives come from. But like I said, I think I liked the movie more than you did. But... yeah, I there are a lot of negatives for this movie.
I could almost see where I would have to look to see if the reviews for the book are any good. I could almost see this being an interesting read because if at the base level, that story premise, the basic plot synopsis, and then also the setting. Are you
No, just keep talking.
Okay, yeah. Well, I feel like that would be a good read, whereas this is dragged down by directing, acting, and just straight up, I don't know, just weird cuts, weird cinematography. There's these weird shots in the movie that just don't make a lot of sense to me, and I don't know, man. I can't even talk about this movie in a more positive light than just saying that there's a few cool moments. There's a few unintentionally funny moments. There may be a few creepy moments, but ultimately every moment in between is just boring and feels disjointed. Did you ever get that vibe that there's some points where this movie wanted to be a mystery movie? There's points in this movie where it wanted to be like a thriller, and then there's other points where it wanted to be like a full-blown...
Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
That's what I was looking at reviews for the movie, just to see what some people had, and a lot of people were saying that it was kind of like a generic slasher that wanted to be kind of like Scooby-Doo at points, and
yeah. That's a pretty good synopsis, and it just doesn't. It spreads it's like a jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah,
it spreads out to do all of these different things.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because it spreads itself so thin, it's not even able to cover anything that it needs to cover. It doesn't cover all of its bases.
Well, with the Scooby-Doo-ish type in there, like the detective-ish kind of stuff, it really, like I said, that's where the inspiration of Scream pops out to me. And I'm sitting here at some points when it kind of plays on that I should be thinking within our group of characters, who is doing this? There's certain times where it kind of just brings out this. I mean, 97, even with 97, you would have seen Scream in 96. So, going into that movie, you probably would have been thinking of something similar because Scream, the original, really brought the horror genre back. So, this coming out a year later and kind of showing some of these, sprinkled in there, people are probably looking at it like there's going to be one of these people being a killer or something of the same. And it just doesn't do that. Though, there's times in there, because they really put it on the Ray guy. They really,
They do play it up like it could be one of them. So, I mean, props to that. handles it just as well as Scream would have, in my opinion.
But I don't know. That's kind of insulting to Scream, but
It is.
I don't know. Like even Ray, like some of the things he said was kind of giving me Billy vibes, and
Yeah.
especially at the boat section. I don't remember what he said, but like at the boat when she like comes up there, and then he's just like, "Yo, come on the boat. It's safe," you know, and like he even says like a specific sentence that even Billy says.
Earlier in the, well, he's like, "Are you sure?" You know, because they're gonna have Bang-a-lang.
Yeah, they were gonna
Yeah.
do the dirty, and then he was like, "Are you sure?" Because Billy says the exact same thing before him and Sydney get it. But I don't know. There's a lot of parallels there, and I don't know if it was meant to be, but with Kevin being the writer, I feel like there is
Could be.
some in there intentionally. But even with that aside, with even Scream Out of the Mind, it's weird because it just feels like they really put it on, Ray here. So like,
Yeah.
it had me thinking that it had to be probably someone within the group then again, but it wasn't.
Yeah, that was my thought, was that first, honestly, before they leaned into Ray, my thought was, okay, yeah, it's going to be Ray. But then they started leaning into Ray. I'm like, okay, it's not Ray, but maybe they want us to think it is someone from the friend group. So my mind went to Barry.
Yeah.
Barry fucking died. And I don't know. It's just, I don't know, man.
I mean, I definitely didn't see a random fisherman coming in. I knew the fisherman was the outfit, but I didn't actually think it was going to be like just some.
I didn't think that was the all revealing of his personality.
Yeah, and also just some random dude.
Yeah.
Like I said, I guess we technically saw him in the beginning, but like his face was all effed up, and like you didn't know. And
well, what gets me is up until they found out about him eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, it was pretty late in the movie. We didn't even know this character existed. I mean, obviously, you know that.
Yeah, from the beginning, but the beginning, you think it's the Dave guy,
Right.
You don't think it's the father here.
Like, yeah, obviously, the girlfriend who died a year prior to the events of the initial part of the movie, obviously, she had a father.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally, everybody does. But you don't know that he's a character in the movie. I mean, you have no idea. But then you just kind of throws that out there, and we're like, oh my god, what is going on?
Yeah, the way he just randomly was introduced is kind of crazy. Negative points there because he wasn't even in the movie in the slight. Maybe if he was like a character that showed up, just a normal person in the movie before he puts on the killer outfit.
Yeah.
Sure. But just to randomly have him hidden and then just out of nowhere you just see this guy just like, I'm the killer. And you're like, why should I care? Who are you?
Right. Now, one thing I do like, and I will give this movie props for this.
Okay.
They're at the marina. They're at the end of the movie. She's running away from Freddie Prinze Jr. From the boat because she found out that he was the one.
Billy.
She found out that he was the one that had inquired about Dave and said that he was the friend. But of course, we now know, hindsight 2020, that he was just guilty or feeling guilty and wanted to pretty much figure out more about the situation. And but before Julie knows this, she basically ties it together, thinks he is the killer, freaks out, and then starts running. And then that's when she runs into, well, they both technically, one gets clotheslined, directly into the actual killer, Mr. Willis.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about the fact that he wasn't like an unmasking or a reveal? Was that cool to you?
Oh, I mean, that's fine. But like that, I don't know. It's unique because
I liked it. I mean, I liked it that he was just like...
It's one of those things that like when you're watching it, it's the killer anyway. So
yeah, because it's so late in the movie, I was like, who are we going to introduce?
Yeah, like why would we introduce some random person?
But then it sucks because they're introducing a character as it is anyway.
As soon as they clothesline, Ray over here, like literally all of us were like, that's the killer.
Yep, that's
who it is.
That's our guy.
Get on the boat, it's safe, go. We knew he was the killer.
Right.
But, I mean, I don't know if Scream 2 came out yet at this point, but Scream 1 always had Stu didn't have a reveal like that, but, there wasn't really a scene since it was just him too, there wasn't like a scene where he like takes off the thing and then it shows him. It just, has him clothesline, get on, then you find out he's a killer.
Right.
I thought it was fine. I think it could have been done better.
It differentiates.
I think the killer in general could have been done better.
Yes.
But I don't have a problem with it. It was all right. Could have been better. But like, it's just one of those things where I don't really care too much because we already knew he was the killer right from that scene anyway.
Right. Yep. So, before we get any further, we're going to kind of go into our final verdicts here directly as we're, pretty much approaching an hour. I know we're just a few minutes behind this at this point.
Yeah.
But is there anything else that you think you can say to win me over on any form of extra quality that you may have seen that I did not necessarily pick up on?
Like for positives.
Anything at all.
It's kind of hard because there's not, like, I don't really like the movie a whole lot, but it kept me entertained, and that was the big thing for me. Because, like, in a movie, I'm all about being entertained, and as long as it can keep me hooked or keep me at least interested and, like, laughing, or at least if it's cheesy, I dig cheesiness. So for me, I was entertained enough to where I'm like, okay, this movie's pretty chill. But it wasn't like a movie that I thought we were going to be watching because, like I said, I didn't know anything about this movie, but a lot of people did compare it to Scream from what I seen online.
Right.
I don't agree with that.
I didn't think the main cast was big enough to truly feel like a Scream movie.
No, because we only had, 4
there was
characters plus Max?
Well, hell, even that was like cannon fodder for the first third of the movie. Mm-hmm. So
I only had the 4 characters, huh? The 2 guys and 2 girls.
Yeah.
And I feel like and only 2 of them died.
Of the cast,
the 4. Yeah. So what, like 3 deaths?
Hell, there was only 3 altogether.
4, because the nerdy girl dies.
Yeah.
Was it only 4 then?
Wow.
Also, why'd she die? What does she have to do with?
Honestly, at that point, I think just witness.
I guess.
But Max still doesn't make sense to me. Max won't make sense to me.
Yeah, Max doesn't make any sense.
I don't understand. There must be something else that I'm missing on that one. But I guess final verdicts then.
I'll let you go first because I went first last time.
Okay, that is cool. That is cool to me. So by default, I'll keep it as short and sweet as I can. By default, I was entertained throughout this movie. So on my scale, that's at least a 4 out of 10, which that's not a lot of points. Now you may also consider the fact that there are some cool scenes. There's really cool set pieces, like as we've mentioned, the emphasis on like the fishing, the ice not sculpture, but like just
the blocks, the ice blocks, and then just the ice, like the little small ice things everywhere within the scene.
Yeah, the town feels like a character in the sense that like you can tell that this is a fishing heavy like village almost. Like,
and they comment on that.
The mom's like at one point she's like, oh, I wanted this fish, I wanted musk fish, but I got
when they're eating
but we got this instead. I had a light harvest or whatever.
Let's talk about the scene too before you get into your final verdict about when the father, like in Helen's house, the freaking dude just walks into the house casually.
Yeah, no, lock your doors, people.
He just walks in.
Sydney at the end of Scream 3.
Bugs.
Don't let the bugs in. Don't let the fishermen in. Don't let anything.
Well, it's funny because I figured he would have came in and killed the dad, but then he didn't.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I thought
that's the girl with the glasses is Helen's mom, right? Because from that scene, because before that, I don't know if they ever stated, but I just assumed it was just like a douchey coworker or something. But then in the house, she's up there talking to her in a room.
It's not sister, is it?
Maybe sister? I actually don't know. I don't even know if the relationship was ever actually given. That's another thing that,
let's see.
I don't even know what her name was. She was kind of irrelevant. The only thing I know her for is just her taking 10 years to open the door for Helen. And then she dies.
I have to know this now before we continue.
Oh, if it was a mom or sister.
It's Elsa, right?
Yes.
Oh, wait, I don't want just the... Oh, I need...
You don't want the actor, you want the...
So...
Just type in Elsa Shivers. Yeah, Elsa Shivers. Wait. Okay.
Elsa Shivers.
We're really up to date on our characters here. I don't know, I feel like this movie, that's one thing that... What?
Elsa Shivers is the secondary antagonist turned supporting character, and I know what you did last summer.
What?
I don't necessarily know that I would ever call her an antagonist.
I mean, she was kind of a douche, but she wasn't an antagonist. What?
Yeah.
She is the oldest sister of Helen. Okay.
Okay, so
Sister.
it was sister.
I didn't know if it was mom or sister. I knew they had to be related somehow because she was in the house.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how you got mom from the age ranges there.
I don't know. I mean, you've seen movies where they
The '90s were a crazy time.
You've seen movies where they cast people that are nowhere close to the age that they should be
I agree.
in the movie.
I agree.
So, like, I saw the father on the couch. She came in and she was being a bit. So I just assumed, okay, maybe just a D-bag mother. Like, whatever.
That's
but
fair.
I guess sister does make more sense. They look more like sisters. But just on the top of my head, I was like, mom, maybe? I don't know. But, yeah, I knew they were related because of that house scene. What did you think of him being in the closet and then
Well, he's just like me.
not? He didn't even kill her there either. What's with Adam? Like,
Well, once again, I think it was all part of the big reveal for 4th of July. I think for the main cast, he was waiting to kill any of them until the 4th of July.
I guess,
And that's why he wrote soon on the mirror, and then he, teased her by cutting her hair and giving her her
Crown.
tiara, her
crown.
crown back. So
Well,
I guess there's that. But anyway,
yeah. Go back to your
Yeah.
thing. I just wanted to bring up that scene and then the relationship
absolutely.
of them
We now know that Elsa Shivers.
is the secondary antagonist.
I guess that
and
makes sense as the main character, as it is Helen Shivers. Oops, whoopsies. But anyway,
Is it because they were in ice at the end
yikes.
and they shivered because cold?
You would be correct. But this movie is entertaining on a first-time watch. I will never watch it again.
I mean, I'm the same. I don't think
Four out of 10. You add in things like I said, not so great directing, some poor performances, some decent performances at times that kind of levels out a little bit. You kind of raise your rating a little bit in the sense that you've got some really nice set pieces. You've got a really nice, as I said, like a sense of culture with the town.
Yeah.
I think, the festival with like the fish, the floats and everything. Like the parade.
The parade, you have that giant bass or whatever in the back.
Everything about this like screams like, this is a fishing town. Like it's really cool. Like I dig that a lot, and I think it's a cool personality point.
Speaking of the parade, I'm sorry to cut in front of your thing again, but the parade when they're looking for the fishermen. And then they see the one dude in the coat and stuff.
He just takes him out.
The dude
just
takes him out, and then it's just an old man just going, "What?"
Yeah, he just takes him out. Poor guy. And I felt so bad for that guy. But with that being said, not that this was one of those moments, but then you've also got other things, story speaking, like very dumb character decisions, especially ones that really are just there to drive the plot forward. A not so memorable main cast, a shyness towards the violence for the most part.
Yeah.
And even when violence is shown, like the splatter of blood when Elsa Shivers, the sister, is killed, on the window, it didn't look good.
The only part of that was cool was when it shows him just dragging her. It was kind of cool because he was just kind of like.
It really did feel like characters ran out of things to say at certain scenes. And I've got to say, I don't see myself going above a 4.5 for this one.
Is this the lowest you rated a movie?
This is the lowest I've rated a movie. The difference between Nope and this is that there at least felt like there could have been a message to be perceived. This was like, okay, we're going to be dumb fun, but they forgot the fun. So it was just dumb.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? The personality of the town was the coolest part. I think the premise of the movie is also pretty interesting, but I think it fails to deliver on that premise in a super fun way because the rest of the movie is just boring. The ending's cool, but it's apparently going to be betrayed in the fact that there's sequels involving the main character.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. None of it matters. Nothing matters. Donald Trump has been arrested. Nothing matters.
What? What's the correlation?
There's none. I'm just, good for him.
Also, since we're talking about today's news, don't use your phones in the slightest in a vehicle anymore. That law got passed.
In Ohio.
Yeah. If you're in Ohio, if you're in the corn eating,
Rootin' tootin', cowboy shooting.
crazy demons spawning in, yeah, if you live in Ohio, watch out for that. Don't ever get on your phones. 'Cause that's the last thing you want to worry about when there's monsters fighting.
That could be the name of the podcast. Average Ohio Podcast.
Here we go.
Probably get
We're not even from Ohio.
No.
Literally.
Indiana. We hate Ohioans.
My family was from Ohio. How dare you?
Okay. Anyway, but yeah,
4.5?
4.5. I really think the premise of the movie would be cool. I think the city, the town being its own character. I really do feel like that's actually true. It's the only thing that falls flat as far as the city goes is that I wish there was more characters that we knew.
There you go.
I wish we were introduced to more of a cast, and between a better cast and better cinematography, direction, and acting, which are pretty key elements to a movie, there's not really much else you can do for this film. So, with that being said, 4.5, right below Nope, by half a point. Yeah, I gotta say, just not it. What about you, my good friend?
I'm going to be the complete opposite of you and say that
5.4.
no, Nope, if you didn't see our last one, Nope was the movie we did. And that is my previous least scored thing at like a 2.5. I did not like that movie.
That is crazy.
And I still stand by that score.
That is crazy to me.
That movie was the most boring thing I've ever seen in my life. And I still stand by that. I'm going to fight you on that and say that this movie at least was hilariously dumb and fun. That movie had me in a snooze fest. And I don't really ever sleep through movies, so...
It felt like I was laughing at this movie.
That's fine. I agree that there's a lot of parts where it's like that. But at the same time, I'd rather be doing that than watching a desertly, biome-ish, nothing happening for a whole 2 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah, that movie was long.
So I'm going to fight that and say that I'm not going to lower this lower than Nope by any means. And I'm going to say that I actually like this a little bit more than you. I don't think it's like goated or like the best missed horror movie.
He loves it.
No, it's not like, because like I said, a lot of people talk about this movie as being a classic or one of the classics. And I don't agree there. I don't think this deserves to be with the classics of Halloween, Friday the 13th, Scream, Nightmare, Alien,
right?
All that stuff. Doesn't deserve to be with that, in my opinion. But people who praise this movie, I get it. Here's the thing, though. I agree that there's not that many characters, so you don't really have a whole lot of variety to focus on and to expand on. And all the characters are kind of lame anyway. Like I said, the only one I like is Helen, and that's just because I like the actor. And her performance and everything is fantastic, even though they kind of wrote her to be a little stupid. That's just every horror movie. So to me, a 90s horror movie that's not Scream, if they're not playing on the tropes of a horror movie, I expect it to be stupid.
Yeah,
that's just kind of how it is. It's what all the classics were. I mean, if they're not playing on the tropes, they are the trope, and that's just kind of how it's always been. So going into horror movies and seeing stupid decisions, which you think is a negative, which I agree, I understand.
I think they're stupid when they're solely to drive the plot forward.
Yeah, I 100% agree there. I don't know, the plot itself wasn't there. I don't like the plot really at all, especially since the killer was super underwhelming. Especially since like I said, I know it's not Scream, but it's one of those things where the movie itself kind of tries to drive you.
Poor pacing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, with that as well. That just you saying that reminded me that is something that I meant to say. Mm-hmm. But that was one of the huge negatives that really brought the movie down for enjoyment for me.
I was gonna say just that in general, like. What was I don't even remember what I was even trying to get. What did I say before about the...
Like with the kills?
Yeah. The kills are definitely bleh. I mean, they don't really show...
Shies away from anything good.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's not really that much gore in here.
Felt like... Yeah, I understand. It's like, I don't know. Your grandma wants to show you a horror movie, but then she edits it first.
Yeah, to make sure it's
out all of the.
Make sure it's like PG-13.
Yeah, and this is the version she shows you.
No, the setting, like you said, I really like the setting. The setting's fantastic. It's super unique and something you don't see very much of like a little small town, village. focusing on like a fish village where the fishing is like kind of their source of making money, their source of living, what they're eating. Like, fish is really huge in this city, town, village, whatever you want to call it. And it's very interesting, but they don't play on that very much other than the scenes of like when they're eating at the dinner table, or Ray is working for the fisherman thing, like his father.
Yeah.
Was that supposed to be like, oh, just like my father? Was that supposed to be a little hint towards the killer being the father of someone?
Yeah.
I don't know. Heck if I know. I think the killer, I think that's what I was talking about earlier before you said about the poor pacing. I was talking about the killer. And I think that's one of the things that's really driving me to not like the movie a whole lot.
Yeah, I really thought the emphasis on, as you said, like Ray's father, like he kept mentioning him, and even at the one point they were talking about, what was it, the Blue Billy?
Yeah, Blue Billy.
When they said that, I thought
Billy
that was
Blue.
I thought that was going to be a nickname for his father.
Mm-hmm.
And even
And then
if he
like
had
maybe that would have tied in too, because when she sees the boat and like, oh, you're Billy, whatever, runs off, and then it could have been like, yo, it's my father's boat or something like that.
I can explain. Yeah, that's where I thought it was going.
Yeah, but that's not where they took it. And honestly, I think if it was at least Ray's father, at least it was a character that we know. As far as Susie's just a dead girl,
Right?
And we didn't really see Susie at all, other than just knowing from like notes and records that this Susie girl died in a
Yes.
car crash, whatever. So the father of a girl we've never even seen or really care about being the killer, to me, is lame. Especially since this killer isn't even in the movie except when he's killing people for 2 seconds. So you don't even see him off screen without being a killer.
Yeah.
So that to me is what kills a lot of the ending for me.
Yeah.
I think the only scene I actually even cared about in this movie is some of the funny one-liners, stupid, cheesy things. And then as far as a serious scene, is just Helen's chase scene, just because cool. It was the only scene that actually lasted longer than 2 seconds when getting chased by something.
Yeah, that is true.
At least she fought back.
Hell, it was prolonged by the fact that her sister couldn't get the keys.
So stupid.
Once again, just when your sister's screaming bloody murder, hurry up a little.
Yeah.
So, yes.
But I don't know. I think that scene alone carries this movie to a little bit of me liking it a little bit more, just because she carries. But out of all the other characters, I don't care about them. Literally don't give a single care.
Yep.
Especially our final girl here. Nothing against the actor at all, or any of the actors. But I feel like she wasn't relevant at all.
That's fair. I mean,
nor was really any of them.
For as small as a main cast that there was, none of them truly felt fully utilized.
Mm-hmm. It always just felt like they were kind of just there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because the ones that got at least some screen time, or at least in the sense of, Helen's character.
Yeah.
I mean, she got an appropriate amount of screen time, but she died anyway.
Yeah. Which is annoying. I feel like if anyone was to live, it should have been her at least. But I think another thing is like all of them kept it secret. I would have loved to have had a combat of like where one of them is like kind of scared or like cracks and like starts telling the police or something, or something to differ the characters, because they all keep secret and they're all just kind of pretend it's not there. And then I don't know, it would have been a unique take to see like one of them or two of them crack or start to want to tell the police or something afterwards. I know like in the beginning when it happens, they're all, trying to figure out what to do, tell the police, not tell the police. But then after that, it's that run again, right?
Right.
But the only other thing I like is the utilization of the letters. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
But it's not done well enough. It's only used a few times.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. And I do like the plot twist at the end there where it's like, oh, another letter, but it's not actually a letter. But then it's killed again, because literally as soon as she goes back, the killer's there.
Yep.
So to me, that just breaks away the whole, oh, it's just a fake letter. Cool, I don't have to worry about it. But then you go back into the room and then he's still alive, apparently. Yep. Also, I don't like how that ends with the boat, with him just getting his hand cut off and thrown into the water. The most super boring way to end it, because it's like, obviously he's not dead. But
body will turn up. They always do.
Yep, that's it. Body will turn up. They always do. I don't know. I mean, for he's the villain, and you have our two characters that are the good guys. if the good guys are going to defeat the villain, at least make the villain die in a cool way or do something interesting with
I
it.
thought he was going to get hung by the ropes.
That would have been cool.
I thought he was going to get caught up there, and then that's what was going to happen.
I don't know. Also, Ray going to the boat was the goofiest I ever seen. Him just like climbing all the way up to the top.
Yeah.
He gets punched off the boat with like the back of the hook.
I gotta say, I'm assembling a team of the goofy guys, and we got Ray, and we've got
Barry.
well, I don't know. I thought Barry was just a douche. We can get Ray, and we can get Dewey in a room together.
Ooh,
We can get anything done.
for real.
How many goofs to unscrew a light bulb? But so did you say an official score?
Nah, I think we'll get into that now. Okay, so again, Nope was our previous film. I rated it at 2.5. You rated this movie 4.5, correct?
Yes, I did.
I'm gonna be real honest with you. I'm thinking. Now, originally I was thinking like 5. I was thinking 5.
Oh, I can see where this is going.
I'm not gonna go too much higher.
You're
actually.
gonna go higher. Oh,
I'm gonna give this movie
this hurts my brain.
only because Helen's a Chad and
No.
that fight scene. 5.5.
No,
I'll give it a
You
5.5.
gave Nope a 2.5.
That movie's boring. Nope is boring. Sorry.
5.5.
Nope is boring. Sorry, any Nope fans, but no, it's so boring.
I didn't even like Nope, and that's insulting to me.
Nope. Nope is boring, man.
Nope. You would be correct there.
Woo. Well, you listed this at 4.5. I only went up a point more.
Yeah.
And I'm very forgiving when it comes to movies. I was thinking a 6, but I was like, I don't think it deserves a 6.
Yeah, I guess you did only go up a point more, but I mean, I don't know.
I had fun. It was fun.
It was fine for a first watching, but like even during the first watching,
I'll never watch it again.
Yes, no, and I don't intend on following up with sequels. We will not be doing that.
Yeah.
Do not
Yeah, we're
ask
not.
because we're not going to do that.
Like a 6 score and up is probably movies that I would potentially, like 6, 7 are movies I would potentially watch again.
Yep.
And then 8, 9, 10 are movies that I would love to watch again. And then anything below like 5 or whatever, I'm not watching again. So this is a movie I'm not going to watch again, but 5.5 is what I'll give it because I laughed. I had at least a fun time watching it the first time trying to guess who the killer was, even though it had nothing to do with anything, I'm guessing. But like having that knowledge of, man, maybe it could be this in the friend group, that was fun to guess.
That's fair.
But it really lacks in the pacing, really lacks in the scenery, really lacks in the characters, and really lacks in the killer motivations and stuff.
Yep.
Didn't like the killer in the slightest, and that's the thing you want to work in a
Right.
slasher is the
Right.
killer. And the killer did not work for me. But that's it for me.
I tell you what, man, I don't even know what else to say about this movie. I mean, I feel like we've both expended ourselves pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any any imparting words for our good viewers if they have made it this far to the end of the video? Which, if you do, thanks for watching. But anything coming our way from the Draven or Boo-ins, if you would.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
I'm just kind of vibing,
Where
playing
is
some
the
games.
Where is the Left 4 Dead video?
Yo,
Where
I said
is
I
it?
was making that like 3 vids ago.
Where is it?
Still being worked on. I'm just slow.
I understand.
Editing is not my forte because when I edit, I like it to be perfect, and I like to add a lot of green screen effects, and that takes a while. Although the Left 4 Dead one shouldn't take too long, like my Scream one, because my Scream one was like 45 minutes.
Oh my god, that's a banger. Go check that out if you haven't. It's a Scream tier list.
For that being my first video ever working on, I thought that was awesome.
That was a good video.
I actually liked it a lot. But my Left 4 Dead one's only like 10 minutes long, so when I actually do edit that, it's not going to take too long.
Have you posted like all of your TikToks onto YouTube?
Not all of them, no.
You should go ahead and do that to build the audience.
Oh, my
in between.
My TikTok's fun. I like making stupid like 10-second clips.
It's fun, and then you can just put them on. You can put them on. All you have to do is get on your TikTok app, download them to your phone, go right over to the YouTube app, and hit upload to Shorts.
Yeah.
Put it right in there.
I've never been a huge fan of TikTok. I still ain't really a huge fan. I don't really use it too much,
Yeah.
but I just like making stupid green screen memes with video games or cartoons or movies, and then sometimes it actually pops off, and sometimes it's just...
Let me tell you something that might change your whole viewpoint of TikTok.
Okay.
Did you know, according to the congressional hearings about TikTok, that it can connect to the internet? Did you know that?
What?
Yes, I mean, apparently it can connect to the internet. And
Okay.
TikTok is an amazing resource in a lot of ways for people. There's some people that don't understand algorithms, and they ask why they're seeing homosexuals dancing, and then need to be explained to the fact that the algorithm is suggesting it to them for a reason.
I'm so confused.
Yep.
Was this all at the hearing?
Well, the first thing definitely was. I'm not so sure about the second thing being real or not, because it just sounds so fake, but I'm pretty sure it's real.
Oh, you heard that like from a post or something?
Yeah. So
That wouldn't surprise me.
it would not. It would not surprise me absolutely one bit. But with that being said, this has been the Pop Corner episode 10.
Hey, if you're still here somehow
If
and
you are
rocking
still
on, I want to know what you did last summer. Go ahead and leave in the comments. What did you do last summer? Did you go on a vacation? Did you just be lazy all day like us? Did you do something fun, entertaining, boring? Did something sad happen? Hopefully not. But if you want to
Tell
share,
us details, by the way,
you wanna
if
share.
it did get sad.
let us know.
I want to know the details. Yeah. Love you. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Peace.